The life of Pope St. John XXIII, a continuous narrative. The saint we celebrate today, Pope St. John XXIII, is one of the most beloved figures in modern history, a man who, in a mere 5 years, dramatically changed the course of a 2,000-year-old church. His life began with profound simplicity. He was born Angelo Giuseppe Roncalli on November 25, 1881, in the small Italian village of Sotto il Monte. His family were poor sharecroppers, tenant farmers, and Angelo was one of 13 children. The home was materially poor, but incredibly rich in faith, and the values he learned in those simple fields, humility, hard work, and deep devotion, remained with him for life. Despite their struggle, his parents recognized his intellectual promise, and young Angelo was able to pursue an education that led him to the priesthood, where he was ordained in 1904. He quickly adopted his lifelong spiritual compass, the motto, Obedientia et Pax, obedience and peace. For the next 5 decades, Father Roncalli's life was anything but provincial. He became a Vatican diplomat, traveling the globe and gaining an extraordinary, open-minded perspective on the world. He served in the challenging post of apostolic delegate in Bulgaria for a decade, and later in Turkey and Greece, a vantage point that allowed him to see the Church not just as a Western institution, but as a global family that needed to dialogue with Orthodox, Jewish, and Muslim communities. It was during the terror of World War II, while stationed in Turkey, that his simple goodness met history. Risking his own life, he courageously used his diplomatic connections to help save thousands of Jewish refugees from the Nazi persecution, forging visas and orchestrating escapes. His humanity transcended politics and religion. He would later serve in France, helping that nation's church heal and rebuild after years of occupation. In 1953, the diplomatic mission concluded when he was created a cardinal and sent to be the Patriarch of Venice, where he thought he would happily retire into the life of a simple, local bishop. But the world had other plans for the man who was nearly 77 years old. In 1958, following the death of Pope Pius XII, Cardinal Roncalli was elected pope. He was a compromise candidate, chosen for his advanced age. Everyone expected him to be a quiet, caretaker pope, a transitional figure who would keep the seat warm. Instead, the world met Pope John XXIII, the good pope. He immediately shattered the walls of the Vatican. He was a pope of gestures, visiting the sick in hospitals, having dinner with prisoners, and speaking to the world with a disarming warmth and simplicity. He instantly became the grandfather of the world, a reflection of God's unconditional love. And then, just 3 months into his reign, he stunned the entire world. He announced his intention to call an ecumenical council, a gathering of all the world's bishops, to confront the challenges of the modern era. His purpose was to bring the Church into the present, and Aggiornamento, a radical renewal. The Great Council, Vatican II, was solemnly opened on October 11, 1962, the very day we celebrate his feast today. On that night, Pope John delivered one of his most famous, unscripted speeches, saying he wanted to throw open the windows of the Church so that the world could see in and the Church could see out. Though his illness prevented him from seeing the council to its conclusion, his spirit of hope, dialogue, and profound faith guided every document and every discussion. His final gift to humanity was his last great encyclical, Pacem and Terris, Peace on Earth, released just 2 months before his death in 1963. It was an urgent plea for human dignity, justice, and disarmament, addressed not just to Catholics, but to all men and women of goodwill. Pope St. John XXIII proved that a simple, obedient heart, guided by a boundless love for humanity, can create a legacy more enduring than any earthly kingdom. He died in 1963, having opened the windows of the Church to let in a fresh, new breeze that continues to move us today.